afternoon, I'm Charles Lejano. This is One News Now. Separate investigations are underway into the unauthorized vaccination of some members of the Presidential Security Group. The Armed Forces has once again claimed innocence, maintaining that the inoculation was done voluntarily. Ria Fernandez will tell us more.
The Food and Drug Administration has started its probe into the supposed unregulated vaccination among members of the Presidential Security Group. The FDA is now in the stage of gathering information to trace all the people involved. Its Director General Eric Domingo adds that they are coordinating with the Customs Bureau and other agencies to avoid a repeat of such incident. According to Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, the result of the investigation may be released after the holidays.
Now, whether this will be finished by within a week or two is something that's not yet clear to us because there's still.
On Thursday, Duque warned that they will revoke the medical licenses of all medical professionals who will be found involved. Meanwhile, the Justice Department has ordered the Investigation Bureau to launch a separate probe into the PSG vaccination. Secretary Minardo Guevara says the NBI will primarily look at the violation of the FDA Act as well as laws in medical practice. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has also launched its own investigation. However, it maintains that AFP Chief Lieutenant General Gilbert Gapay is not privy to how the shots were procured and administered. In an interview with 1PH sa Totoo Lang, defense analyst Manny Mugato says the vaccination could be considered a breach of discipline. Mugato notes that all military operations or activities are guided by a chain of command involving several service leaders.
So, ang PSG ay hindi pwedeng sariling desisyon na gagawin to nang walang dadaan sa Army Chief, sa AFP Chief of Staff, sa Defense Secretary at sa Pangulo.
For its part, the Senate Committee of the Whole will begin its inquiry into the PSG vaccine fiasco in January. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, we are One News.
The Health Department welcomes the inclusion of Pfizer in the emergency use listing of the World Health Organization. In a press conference earlier today, Secretary Francisco Duque III said the move will speed up the Philippines' access to the drug maker's vaccine. Reuters reports that the WHO listing came after the organization found that the shots met their criteria for safety and efficacy. Pfizer and its partner BioNTech were the first to apply for emergency use authorization in the country through the Food and Drug Administration.
Addition to the regulatory approvals, and therefore that should be a lot easier for the local FDA, our own FDA, to already review all the documents and assess the risk-benefit ratio of the said candidate vaccine.
FDA Chief Eric Domingo calls this development significant, saying the decision on Pfizer's application will be released soon. The Philippines opens the new year with more than 1,700 new COVID-19 cases. Of the 475,000 total infections, some 26,600 are active. Davao City has the most number of fresh cases with 100, followed by Rizal and Cavite. The virus claimed 4 people over the past 24 hours. Recoveries now stand at 439,800, with an additional 100 overnight. As for the more infectious COVID-19 variant, the government has officially included the United States in its travel restriction list. PALA spokesperson Harry Roque says foreigners coming from the U.S. or who have been to the U.S. within 14 days before arriving in the Philippines will be barred from entering from January 3 to 15, while passengers who arrive before the ban takes effect will be allowed to enter but will be subjected to a 14-day quarantine regardless of their swab test results. There are now 21 countries covered by travel restrictions due to the threat of the B.1.1.7 variant, first detected in the United Kingdom. We'll have more stories after a quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Health Department reports a sharp decline in the number of firecracker-related injuries. Secretary Francisco Duque III says at least 50 people were hurt from December 21, 2020 to January 1, 2021. Duque notes that the figure is 85% lower than last year's record of 340 injuries within the same period. The National Police, meanwhile, has confirmed 3 stray bullet victims.
Manila had the most number of injuries at 12 cases, followed by Caloocan, 4 cases, Pasig and Quezon City, 2 cases each, and Malabon and Marikina, 1 case each.
The Philippine National Police says New Year's celebrations nationwide have been generally good, save for 1 reported death. To give us more details, Ryan Ang is joining us live from Malabon. Ryan, could you tell us what happened with respect to that lone casualty?
Charles, the PNP attributes a peaceful New Year revelry to the total ban on firecrackers in Metro Manila. However, authorities have reported 1 casualty. A 12-year-old girl in Lanao del Norte died after being hit by a stray bullet in the head while playing outside their house. PNP spokesman Eldebrandi Usana says they are now investigating the incident to identify the gun used as well as its owner. 2 other stray bullet victims were reported. One is a 6-year-old boy in Negros Oriental and another from Dagupan. A lady cop assigned in Malabon was arrested on Thursday night for indiscriminate firing after a concerned citizen reported the incident. Police Staff Sergeant Karen Borromeo is facing an alarm and scandal case and could even be dismissed from service. Initial investigation showed that Borromeo fired her gun in the air during a heated argument with her girlfriend. The police forensic team recovered 14 spent shells from a 9mm pistol at the scene. Borromeo turned herself in at the Malabon City Police Station where she was booked and arrested. Overall, the PNP apprehended and fined 44 people in NCR for using firecrackers. Caloocan and Parañaque, meanwhile, arrested 1 violators each. Charles, the Bureau of Fire Protection has reported 0 firecracker-related fire incidents. 29 firecracker-related incidents, meanwhile, have been recorded since Thursday, far from the 144 tally in the previous year. Charles.
Thanks for that, Ryan. That was Ryan Ang reporting from Malabon. Toned-down cheers greeted New Year babies at the hospital in Manila as we ushered in 2021. Mothers admit that their pregnancy journeys were not easy, no thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic. Lino Lavario with the story.
This was the scene at the delivery room of Dr. Jose Fabella Memorial Hospital as the clock struck 12 midnight. Doctors and nurses joined mothers who welcomed their New Year babies. Michelle did not expect to give birth to her baby boy Jahir at exactly 12 on January 1.
Hindi ko talaga na ano yun. Nagulat na lang ko, sigawan silang lahat. Nauna daw ako.
This is a 36-year-old mother's 3rd pregnancy. Michelle says this one has proven to be the most difficult, not just because of her 2-hour labor, but also because of the challenges to her pregnancy journey amid the pandemic.
Natatakot, parang ang pinagdasal ko na hindi ako magkasakit. Hindi ako magkalagnat o busipon. Yun ang iniwasan ko.
Michelle couldn't help but feel all sorts of emotions the first time she got to hold her baby.
Ang saya, kahit masakit na hindi ko maintindihan. Naramdaman ko.
Just a minute later, another mother, Sharon Limapaa, gave birth to healthy baby boy John Aaron. The first time mother said she did not expect to give birth on Friday as she wasn't due until January 7. She admitted that the pandemic has taken a toll on her family, especially since her partner lost his job during the lockdown.
Mahirap po para sa amin pero kinakaya po. Basta iniisip ko po ngayon yung baby namin na blessings na dumating.
As a precautionary measure against COVID-19, Fabella only allowed relatives in the delivery room if the mother had special concerns. Mothers were also required to wear face masks and face shields while giving birth. Prior to delivery, they had to undergo assessment at the triage area for possible COVID-19 symptoms.
Minomonitor naman po sila ng mga doktor kung may mababantayan kung may hirap na. No? Kasi umiiri ka na nakamas. No? Ganun. Yun yung pagbabagong naiba sa paglilibor nila.
The hospital gave away free strollers and gift packs containing diapers and other goods as a treat for New Year babies. For News 5, Lynn Olivario, We Are One News.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.